Welcome back. My name is Kit.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, a podcast about TV and film. Today, an extra special episode, the return, yet again, of our beloved friend, founder of the show, Andy.
Andy.
How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you, buddy?
Really good, man. Really good. Got some chores done. Picked up the house a little bit. Watched some Cloverfield.
Ooh.
It's been a good day.
That's the movie that we're talking about today. As you guys know, our patrons have the ability at a certain tier to mandate, obligate, force at metaphorical gunpoint us to watch and review a movie of their choice. I said metaphorical.
Yeah.
No violence.
No.
And today, the choice is Cloverfield. That's right, baby.
Oh, yeah. What a great movie. And I do want to add a little addendum to your note, Kit, is that we have locked the patron tier that allows you to choose.
I've been getting some emails, people requesting.
Some people have sent us emails saying like, hey, I can't get the tier that lets me choose what you guys
Sold out.
watch. It's sold out. And that is for a reason. We aren't ready to announce why, but stay tuned for more on our patron tiers.
Yeah. Sign up to patreon.com/streamingthings to find out why.
I mean, even I don't know. And he's like, there are tears?
We didn't talk about this off camera.
Tears in rain?
Yeah. And we thought Andy would be a great, well, actually, Andy thought, he asked last week, we wanted him on for Moneyball for obvious reasons. If you heard that episode, Steve and I know next to nothing about baseball.
I'm sorry.
I should have been there.
I'm sorry.
Andy's a huge fan of baseball. That would have made a lot of sense. But he was like, hey, rain check. However, what are you covering next week? And I sent him the list. And he chose Cloverfield, a movie that I know that you loved when it came out. And so
Still love it now.
extra special fun to watch. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about our overall thoughts, what it was like watching Cloverfield the first time back in 2008, what it's like watching it again today, then a play-by-play, scene-by-scene recap. Hope you're enjoying our Star Wars coverage. We're almost halfway through now at this point. And next week will be Return of the Jedi. And then we'll get into the sequels.
Revenge of the Sith.
God damn it. I get the R's mixed up.
It is, yeah. There's Return,
Same
Revenge.
cadence, yeah. It's a lot
Third movie
going
in a
on.
trilogy.
But we did Revenge of the Sith. That's right. And then we're gearing up, ladies and gents, for our and non-binary folk. We're gearing up for our Hot Dragon coverage.
Hot D's coming back.
Hot Dragon, baby. Hot D. And The Boys, season 4. So that's going to be, we're going to start some fun stuff probably in May. And then June is the big month. We get The Acolyte. We get The Bear season 3. We get House of the Dragon season 2. We get
The Boys season 4.
The Boys season 4.
The Boys.
What, the summertime used to be light on TV. Everybody just go outside, go on vacation. Not anymore, folks.
No,
Stop
Nothing
doing
changed.
that.
Yeah.
Is this like we're getting caught up because things got delayed with the pandemic?
Maybe strike stuff. Maybe.
stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, June is, wow. That is a not going outside for anybody who covers TV and film for a living.
What's the
Because it's
sub?
also summer blockbuster month on the movie side. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
I did
Oh,
look
boy.
at summer blockbusters this year, and it seems like this summer is going to be kind of a light on summer blockbuster season.
I think June is June not when we get challengers.
Oh, I'm not saying there aren't going to be a movie here or there. It just in years past, at least for me, I was like, oh, this seems like this is going to be a kind of a lighter
that's
summer.
late April. Holy shit. A gift to mankind. Zendaya in the tennis threesome movie is coming out late April.
I love how that
what
is
movie?
That is your idea of a summer blockbuster. There's a day of threesome tennis movie.
I'm sitting here like, I don't know about this movie. Tell me more.
It's not a blockbuster. It's directed by Luca Guadagnino.
It's going to have you block busting.
Bustin' makes me feel good. I've been singing a lot, unfortunately, in this
Yeah,
episode. Should probably stop doing that.
No, not at all.
But today, baby, we're talking about Cloverfield. And I'm very curious. I know that Steve, Andy, I know for sure loves this movie, but
Yes.
I know that Steve, big Alien guy, not the franchise. I'm the Alien
I'm
guy.
quite scared of Alien.
Yeah. But like, that's why this would be effective, right? But I think maybe it's a little too kaiju. But then there are the critters. There's critters. Uh-oh.
The kaiju louse.
They're creeping and crawling.
The louse.
That's true. Also, it's funny watching this movie for me. Well, I'll get there in a minute. But it's important to know this movie, the first feature film of a now beloved director, Matt Reeves.
Yes.
Well known for the Planet of the Apes trilogy, or at least the last two, as well as the
Batman.
The Batman. That's right.
No, he had a movie in '96 called The Pallbearer.
Was it not a TV series?
It looks like a movie.
Really?
Yeah.
It's got David Schwimmer and Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh my God.
But also, who's the writer?
Drew, I didn't get there yet.
Yeah.
Drew Goddard.
Yeah.
Goddard. Depends on where you're from. We did his movie Cabin in the Woods on this show.
We did, yeah.
Any other movies that we did?
Well, not that we did, but he's, written Bad Times at the El Royale, The Martian, World War Z.
Oh, I love World War Z so much.
A bunch of Lost episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. And a movie starring Lizzie Kaplan. And what I was going to talk about, TJ Miller.
Yeah.
His debut.
His film debut was this movie.
Are you guys fans of Silicon Valley, either of you?
I've seen the first couple seasons and liked it.
Yeah.
But I haven't finished that series.
What is it? I know that he's like a well-known asshole of some, or maybe is it abusive or just an asshole or...
An asshole. I know he called in fake bomb threats at one point.
Wow.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, he had like a public meltdown for sure. And then I think also was called out for some stuff. I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't know the details. I just know because I didn't watch that show. All I know is I love the movie Underwater, starring, I don't know if you guys have heard of her, Kristen Stewart.
Who?
Yeah, what? Fucking love that movie. It's basically just alien underwater, but he's in that. He doesn't really bother me, but he's always like this guy. He's like a shitty Ryan Reynolds guy. And what I wanted to say earlier was it's kind of jumping the gun, but it's I don't think it works for this movie because of what's going on. You might think it's needed relief, but I only laughed a couple of times. Most of the time I kind of found it exhausting that this crazy shit's going on and you just got him 80-yard into this my balls itch,
I don't think he was 80-yard for the most part.
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Well, yeah. There's we'll get into it, but there's a reason why he was picked by Matt Reeves for this movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
him specifically. But I did look up. Yes, he was charged with allegations of sexual assault shortly after making, 3 months after Deadpool 2 came out.
Okay.
So yeah,
I read on Wikipedia, not to turn it around to something else, but you said you love Underwater. Apparently, that was also developed as a potential Cloverfield movie.
Really? A bunch of Cloverfield stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before we recorded off air, this movie's so influential in a really weird way. There's almost this crazy cinematic universe built around this movie.
Produced by J.J. Abrams.
Produced by J.J. Abrams of Lost fame also. But there's obviously 10 Cloverfield Lane, which doesn't really have too much.
It's a big reveal in the same way that Split was at the end.
Yeah.
Except for the title.
And then the same thing with the Cloverfield paradox. They don't seemingly on the surface have anything to do with one another. I think it's more about vibes more than anything.
Well, it's about money. Well, you guys like Cloverfield? This is Cloverfield.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But then also other famous movies were originally at one point in pre-production meant to be Cloverfield movies, like A Quiet Place, which we will be reviewing on the Patreon as a bonus.
Yes, this
episode.
week.
Overlord and
Underwater, apparently.
Yeah. So
10 Cloverfield Lane is a movie that I adore.
The movie's phenomenal.
Dan Trachtenberg's directorial debut. He ended up directing Prey, probably my favorite Predator movie.
Prey's dope.
Fucking love that movie. I like 10 Cloverfield Lane a lot more than this. I hate found footage movies 9 times out of 10. It's just hey, the shtick hardly ever works. You end up, if you think about it too much, 9 times out of 10, you're why are they still holding the camera? Or how did they get this footage? Sometimes they don't even address how the footage is even being shown to you. Who's watching this right now? I overthink it,
Yeah.
Horror movies for the most part. However, I will say, I think this one is done really well at explaining why it's being filmed because of HUD's character. And I think it's funny. His name is HUD. Is it supposed to be
display?
Is that a joke?
I think so. Yeah. Because heads up display is a HUD.
Yeah. His character, you kind of believe can obnoxiously continue to film this.
We got to document.
I also love the idea of the emotional core of this movie being the date of the girl he's in love with being taped over. And so it's spliced in.
It's so
throughout.
good.
It's really well done.
Oh yeah, I'm watching a tape.
Yeah, I think it's really well done. I just think I know that Steve has said in the past that he hates Paul Greengrass shaky cam. And so I wonder, watching a movie like this, what your brain does. Because for me, it's very disconcerting. Eventually, I get used to it. But that's typically my inner revulsion against found footage. Because it's I just wish I could see what was going on more than I think this is a neat concept. But I think in this is probably the best that's ever been done. I'm pausing to kind of ponder that, but like I do love Blair Witch.
Yeah.
And I do love what's that indie superhero film with Michael B. Jordan and Dane DeHaan?
Yes.
Starts with a C.
Chronicle.
Chronicle. Yes, that is very good.
I like Chronicle.
Forgot about Chronicle.
Because that one's cool because since they have powers, they can like levitate the camera.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And keep it around them, you know.
And still, so you can do found footage, have your cake and eat it too. Like do fun camera angles and still be found footage.
I think it's done well. Some Wreck, horror movie. I think it's a Spanish or Mexican horror movie that's done really well. There's
VHS
some good ones.
Does it a bunch.
For the most part, I'm like, ew. So that's why I maybe love it the least out of all you guys, but I'm excited to hear again, sci-fi alien backgrounds and Andy loves this movie. So Andy, what's your history with this film and what was it like rewatching it for the show?
From what I can recall, like, I think I went into this movie not really knowing much about it. And, I think a lot of people did. Like, I might be misremembering, but didn't the trailers like not show hardly anything?
The trailers didn't show hardly anything, as well as didn't even show the title of the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So for the longest time, no one even knew what this movie was called. Yeah.
And and JJ wasn't JJ yet. I mean, he was like the lost guy.
He was the TV JJ for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he was getting buzz as the young Spielbergs already.
He had just made Mission Impossible 3. That's about it.
Yep.
Probably the best Mission Impossible.
This movie had
being real.
$25 million budget and earned 172 worldwide.
Nice. But yeah, so it, like a lot of my favorite movies, is one that I went into pretty blind, and it just fucking blew me away. I think I like Drive. I went and saw that with a friend one time, thinking that I was seeing like a Fast and the Furious movie, and Drive's like a top 3 movie for me now.
Very different movie.
And so, yeah, I had that same kind of experience with Cloverfield. And I've never been like a huge kaiju guy. Like, I don't care about like the Godzilla movies and stuff. Like, my favorite one's probably the one with Matthew Broderick, because, you know, that came out when I was a kid and I had fun with it, you know?
You love Hank Azaria a lot.
And so, like, I don't know what it is about this movie. It's like just enough horror while also being fun sci-fi to like really hit home. And I really enjoy found footage movies. Just the conceit of it is really neat. I think I get the total opposite experience that you do, where it's immersive to me, as opposed to like I overthink and analyze. And, you know, with this one, I kind of, now watching it older, I pick apart a little more just with the eye of a filmmaker, where I'm like looking for the cuts and stuff, and it's fun to see. Some of the CGI hasn't aged super great, but overall it doesn't look bad by any means for a movie that came out like almost 20 years ago.
Barf.
But absolutely love it. Do you guys remember, like, you probably weren't watching the Super Bowl 6 years ago, but I was. And
depends on who the halftime show was.
In the middle of the Super Bowl,
legitimately, is that the Gaga one?
I don't remember. In the middle of the Super Bowl, they announced and released Cloverfield Paradox on Netflix. It was like, this movie will release at the end of the Super Bowl.
I remember that.
It was brilliant marketing, and that Cloverfield had really great marketing too. And I thought that was a really fun way for them to, like, I don't know, utilize marketing in a unique way that you don't see often, like a shadow drop of a movie. I just watched that again last night. That movie's fucking awful. Like
Paradox.
Paradox.
Yeah.
There's like really a couple of fun, like fun horror moments, like a dude's eye turning sideways and like while he's looking in the mirror and it surprising him and stuff. But like, it just doesn't make any sense in the movie. I don't want to harp on about Cloverfields that I don't like, but I love the concept of this like tangentially related multiverse type series of movies, and yeah, it just hits.
Yeah, it's almost like a modern day, like a Twilight Zone type thing, but with very specific types of science in it. It's I love that.
Needs some kind of monster or alien vibe.
Yep. I've always, so when I first saw this movie in 2008, I think I went into it expecting something, because I was a huge Lost fan. I was one of the people at the time singing J.J. Abrams' praises, like, this J.J. Abrams kid, he's going to go places.
Wrong.
Yes. What's he done? And so when I went into the theater, I kind of expected something, and what I got was not what the movie was. Because I don't even think, I could be misremembering this, but I don't even think I was aware that this was a found footage movie when I went and saw it. And at the time was probably the height of my I hate Paul Greengrass shaky cam ire, because that was when the Bourne movies were at their most popular, was around 2008.
The what movies?
Bourne, like the Bourne Identity movies.
Yeah.
Like I just hate that style of action filming. It drives me nuts. And so I remember walking out of the theater going like, I don't know if I like that. It's too much. But then I watched it again because I think the concept is really, really good. If you're doing a found footage movie, what a cool idea. Like it's a found footage movie of people running away from a kaiju attack on New York City. Like that's a neat idea. And then like you said, the splicing of it's being taped over a previously recorded tape that shows you backstory of the characters. It's really, really well done. So I would revisit it shortly after it came out on video and just kind of really fell in love with it. Like I honestly love this movie. I think it's really, really clever filmmaking. It's dense in terms of what shit they sneak into this movie. Like for film lovers, I think this is the type of movie that you love because they like hide so many Easter eggs in this movie for you. Like if you're a Lost fan, the Dharma, and you haven't gotten far enough in Lost to even understand this reference, but like the Dharma Initiative logo is in the very, very beginning of the movie when they're like, this is from an SD card. It's like when it's like, this is clearly a government tape that we're watching. The Dharma Initiative logo from Lost pops up very, very briefly throughout the movie. Like they insert like one frame of like the old King Kong movies, the old Godzilla movies that just like for a frame, they're like in and out. Like you would hardly be able to recognize it unless someone told you it was there. And it's just, and I like the way that the story progresses. I mean, HUD is this interesting idea of like a guy who's just always filming. I got to document. I was given a job. I'm going to document. And the way they use the camera to kind of show you glimpses of the monster, it can be a little frustrating because you're like, I want to see it.
But it's Jaws vibes, you know? Like don't show the monster. It's scarier that way.
Exactly. Like, and then when there's monster louse, like that is such a cool idea. Of course, giant kaiju monsters would have bacteria that feeds off it that to us is just
they don't have shampoo
huge.
For that.
Yeah, they don't have shampoo for that. Of course, things crawling in them. And I do think the story of someone trying to save the person that they love kind of ties it together. It's a little corny in some situations, but I think it does tie the narrative together. Like if it was just four schmucks running around New York City for an hour and a half and escape, like there's no stakes to that, whereas there's stakes to this story and you can connect to these characters on a human level. And you do, like, I think like by the end of the movie, you're honestly kind of bummed at what happens to everybody.
Yeah.
And
spoilers, but yeah.
Yeah. And it's just a really fun time, I think. I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
It's a great movie. It's a good exercise in a lot of different things. It's almost 100% effective.
And best part, it's like 80 minutes long.
I did.
It is brisk.
This was the fourth of 4 movies I had to watch for today, and I was very excited. I literally kept it to be the last one on purpose because it was like, all right, just take a break, bing, bang, boom.
And you know what's funny about that? It's 80 minutes long, and the camcorder that they're using use mini DV tapes, and I think the large version of a mini DV tape is about 80 to 90 minutes long of tape.
Wow.
So it's like they kept it within the threshold of what's in there.
That's cool.
Nerd.
Yeah.
I want to ask a spoiler question. So if you have not seen the movie Cloverfield, good luck enjoying it after this, motherfucker. Just stop listening for a second, come back after you watched it, fast forward 3 minutes. Famously, I'm not even going to look at you guys when I say this because I'm just curious. I think I just missed something, but famously everyone dies in this movie. Mm-hmm. But it looked,
except for
it looked to me like Lily got away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She might have.
We don't know. I didn't miss her helicopter crashing or anything. Like that's just.
Yeah, it's not shown on screen that she dies, but it's assumed that she gets away.
Interesting.
I do know for sure that Travis makes it out. the guy that Beth brings to the party.
Is he in another movie or something?
No, I guess there's like a Blu-ray feature there's some sort of Blu-ray feature where you can read files on characters. And in Travis's file, it says like he immediately went home, which is across the river, and watch the whole thing happen on the news.
Oh, fuck. All the people in New Jersey. Like, what the?
Holy shit.
Well, what happens after this? Like, does the monster die in the bombs that kill Rob and Beth?
I think so, because like the fact that we're watching this video at all and it says property of the government, the area formerly known as Central Park, yada, yada. Like,
and if the camera's okay, Why wouldn't Rob or Beth be okay?
Well, so I don't think that they got killed by the bomb. They got crushed by the bridge. So theoretically, just I don't know. The camera was in just a spot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Losers. Is the Friends coffee shop Central Perk? Is it okay?
Is it okay?
I didn't even know that was in New York. Somebody I don't watch Friends. I don't know anything about it.
I'll be there
I know that song.
you.
It's a banger.
Clap, 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 clap. Yeah,
that was your cheeks. Weird
I mean,
party trick that Steve can do. He sings the Rembrandts with his butt like Ace Ventura style. That was just my question because I actually had a really shitty experience. I haven't seen this movie. I've seen this movie twice now, but once at the time. Because I know Andy was a big fan. I think he showed it to me in like the early 2010s. I haven't seen it since. So I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. Again, that movie is only tangentially related. So I've seen that many times, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm watching this movie. I don't actually remember what happens. And Mary Beth dies. And I'm trying to take good notes because I'm trying to be a responsible professional podcaster. And I'm like...
Mary Beth. Which one's Mary Beth?
The one that explodes.
Oh, it's Marlena.
I'm sorry. Marlena.
Lizzie
so
Kaplan.
Marlena dies. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Did she fucking explode? So I Google Marlena death just to like verify that I didn't miss something because it looked like she fucking exploded.
Yeah.
And the first Google result comes up and it's like, Marlena's death, even though everyone else dies as well, is the most memorable. And I'm like, God damn it.
Spoiled it right there for you.
Which is why I asked if you thought Lily survived because the main, like it was like the Lostopedia, Wikipedia, but of Cloverfield that said that.
Cloverpedia?
It was like the Cloverpedia. So I was like, it's supposedly canon that none of our main characters survive, but it fucking looks like to me that Lily gets away.
Yeah.
So I just want to see what you guys thought.
I always assumed Lily got away.
Like when they're taking off, the rest of them in their helicopter, it looks like something crashes next to them, but I don't know if
it's
it was
a Humvee.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't
because I did see somebody online was like, oh, her helicopter gets thrown, and someone was like, no, that's a Humvee, you dummy. So like I went and rewatched it.
Oh, here we go, Cloverpedia. It's a fucking. You're not being funny.
It's literally called Cloverpedia.
Is it really?
Yes,
it's amazing.
Cloverpedia says,
I feel like somebody owes you money, Steve.
Lily is the first to be taken up on a helicopter, which saves her life. She is the only known survivor of the group.
Wow.
Good for her.
Good for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of depressing, but it's also cool. I honestly was mad that everybody died when I was kind of like closing my laptop and the movie was still playing. And then it cuts back to the date footage. And it's just Beth going, today was a good day. And I was like, this is a fucking good movie. That's a good way to end it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You can apparently in the background there see the alien coming through the sky
water.
Like a comet.
Yeah. Really?
Water, yeah.
Yeah, if you look really closely, I think it's on the right side of the frame because the camera pans looking like towards the beach. And very briefly, you can see something like fall out of the sky and land in the water before it pans back to them.
And it took a month to get out.
Yeah.
It was just swimming around.
Yeah, because the creature design, I think the creature designer, his name is Neville Page. He was saying his Neville Page. His
Mom.
His notes for creating the monster was that this is a monster that's a baby in a new environment that's scared of where it's at. So in theory, like it crashed in the water. Months later, it's that big and just kind of wandering on land, like, oh, what the fuck? Everyone's shooting me!
It's a big toddler.
That's true. That would be terrifying.
And I guess in the original, when the bridge is taken out, originally it was its hand coming up and smacking the bridge.
I like the tail.
But they changed it to the tail because they wanted it to seem more unintentional on the monster's part that it was destroying things.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be like an infant monster, like not knowing what to do.
It was also
itself.
Eating a lot of people.
It's just lost at the supermarket.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, do you have any games on your phone?
That's the part that I hate the most is how HUD dies, but we'll get there.
Interesting.
I think it's bad. But we'll talk about why and maybe you guys can convince me.
Do you guys know why this movie's called Cloverfield?
No. It's Matt's fascination with gardening. Did you know his favorite?
He loves gardening.
Clovers.
Yeah.
And No, I'm sorry. I wish you had stopped me a while ago.
No, I want to see how far you were willing to go with that.
Why is it called Cloverfield?
So actually, this was supposed to be. Cloverfield was initially just like a stand-in title, like a project title that was meant to be changed because Cloverfield is actually named after Cloverfield Boulevard in Santa Monica, California, where Bad Robot production offices are.
Ooh.
So it's the name of the street the office was, and they were fully intending on changing it later. I think at one point they were going to name it after the. And I wish I wrote this down. I don't have it written down, but the bridge that they hide under at the end has a name in Central Park, and it was supposed to be named after that bridge. But at one point, there's like, let's just keep it Cloverfield, whatever, fuck it.
That wouldn't work for us. It would just be called Washington, and people would think Daniel Day-Lewis is going to play the president in our movie.
Yeah,
because Steve lives on Washington Street. So
I do.
That's our studio, Washington.
Just called Brent Spence.
The Washington Paradox.
The bridge builder.
What were you going to say about? You had some background information on the filmmaking style,
With T.J. Miller.
T.J. Miller specifically, and
yeah. So I think at one point, all the actors at one point are actually operating the camera. There are also real camera operators as well at certain points. But Matt Reeves specifically cast T.J. Miller because I guess he was a fan of his stand-up comedy and really wanted whoever played HUD, he wanted them to be a stand-up comedian that is good at improvisational acting. So a lot of the stuff that HUD is saying isn't scripted, and he was instructed by Matt Reeves specifically to just kind of improv shit to throw the other actors off, because he felt like if there was somebody on set that was like throwing people off on purpose and just kind of commenting on what was happening, it would make the other actors, because they're the ones ostensibly on camera, it would make their performances more real because they would react to whatever he was saying in real time and just deliver like true, authentic performances and not just like know what they're saying on script. And so when they're running around and TJ Miller can just say something quickly, the other actors can like kind of respond to it in the moment. And I don't know, it was just that was just his method into going with this. So a lot of times TJ Miller is behind the cameras, not all the time, but
fucking with them.
Yeah.
Saying shit like, I think the government's in on it.
Yeah. If I don't talk about something, I'll lose my fucking mind.
Oh, no, you know the one I thought of immediately when you said that he was just supposed to say shit to throw them off is when they're in the tunnels and he goes, you remember when they caught that serial killer down here who was just setting homeless people on fire?
That's pretty good.
I just think it'd be fucking terrifying if a homeless man came running out on fire right now.
Oh, Jesus.
This episode was sponsored by BetterHelp. Folks, it's 2024. What does everybody do in the new year? They make resolutions. They set goals. How about we don't do that? I mean, you can. It's obviously nice to have goals, but it's also a good exercise to focus on things that you like about yourself. You know, not making all those high pressure goals that you might fail at and just feel worse. You can set smaller goals. And I think therapy can be a good way to access things that you enjoy about your life and focusing on the positive, the gratitude. And BetterHelp is a good way to do that. If you've never given BetterHelp a try, it's therapy that's entirely online. You can do it all from your home and access a therapist by filling out a questionnaire. And if you end up not liking that therapist, you can switch. Again, along with the theme of this ad, no pressure whatsoever. They're not going to have their feelings hurt by it. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit BetterHelp.com/streamingthings today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/streamingthings.
Spring is just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, so how about we spring into action and give a special shout out to all of the patrons who keep the lights on over here at Streaming Things. And I want to give a special shout out to our super patrons for the month of March. Thank you, Stanton Valentino, Maddlestat, Bryce Coppin, Susie Callahan, Anthony Corona, Sunshine, Huckleberry Cauliflower, Ashley Hazen, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, Emily Scarano, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Jay Scramo, Bluff Pum, AK Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Wendy O'Laughlin, Jason Hawkins, Big Butthorn, Conrad, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Peaches, Emmy, Haley B, Joe Velez, John Collins, Amanda King, Trisha Bueller, Sun-Loving Mortal, Suzanne Rode, Jen Robinson, Kalisha Reeves, Aaron Armstrong, Kevin Strother, Ashley Powers, Stephen V, Casey McCain, and Enza. Thank you all so much for supporting Streaming Things, and let's get back to the show.
You guys ready for the recap?
Let's do it. Let's dive into it.
So it opens up with that title card like Steve was talking about where it, hey, this is an SD card. Remember those guys? And
we still use SD cards, to be fair.
This is before lightning ports, right?
That's true, yeah. Before USB 3.0 was just a pipe dream.
And it says camera retrieved at site US 447. And then the footage that we see is on April 27th, my wife's birthday, at 6:41 a.m. He had just had sex with Beth at her dad's house, which is wild.
My dad's not home.
Her dad is
From Starship Troopers.
very clearly a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've got that
Well, they all live in
place-
Manhattan,
Yeah.
except for that one guy's cousin who lives in Brooklyn. I can hear in the background ADR, like when they're heading across the bridge, we go to my cousin's house. And I just thought that was funny.
Have no fear, Brooklyn's here.
Soak the monster.
Soak 'em.
Soak 'em. Andy has no context for this.
Do,
Don't know what's going on.
headlines sell
I'm here
papes?
for it,
No,
we-
kaiju sell papes.
We watched a movie called Newsies starring a young Christian Bale. It's a musical about the children who rioted in the early 1900s.
Okay.
And it takes place and they say funny things.
You'd
like,
love it.
Sweet.
from Brooklyn. We're selling papes. So it's
Wait, is Christian Bale one of the little boys?
Yeah, this is when it was like early 90s.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was imagining.
It's not like modern day
He's such a transformative actor. You know what I mean? He could pull it off.
He like lost a ton of weight.
Yeah, he only ate a can of tuna and one apple and a cigarette per day. He got one Happy Meal.
I bet he could do it. I bet he could do it.
Alan. So then they're post-sex, post-nut clarity, just eating a big old bowl of fruit, talking about Coney Island.
She's never been.
She's never been. He's going to take her. They seem happy. Then it cuts to May 22nd. And all of a sudden it's his brother, Jason, with the camera. And he's trying to get HUD to film testimonials. Rob's going to Japan. There's a bunch of stuff. And I'm kind of confused at this point, but he zooms in on Marlena as she walks in because he has a crush on her.
HUD does, yeah.
Yeah, HUD does. He's convinced to be the camera operator for this. Like, it'll be fun.
Did you say that the date changes in the corner?
Yeah.
Yes, May 22nd.
Okay, yeah. I thought it was a really cool organic way to introduce the characters and to like show the passage of time. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we established this backstory if you're paying attention to the date. Otherwise, it's still like a jarring cut to like now we're in traffic and this couple's arguing and stuff.
Completely
These are
different couple.
people.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Well, I hadn't seen the characters long enough, so I saw the date change. But like when I first see Lily, I'm like, Beth looks way different in the sunlight. And then when you first see Jason, it's just generic white dude number 2. So you're like,
he dyed his hair.
This one's got a goatee.
So, but I did catch on eventually, thank God.
Yeah.
But you're right, like the date's cool.
And they don't overdo like hey, we have a lot of people to introduce in a short amount of time, so I'm going to call you Steve by your name, Steve, so we remember it. It felt really organic. And so for
Good
a minute
point,
there,
Andy. I think you've made a very stellar point with that, Andy.
You guys do need to do that apparently for some listeners.
That's true.
That's
Andy,
true.
what do you feel about
Steve, what do you feel about?
But yeah, so Marlena doesn't want to do the testimonial thing, which is funny because HUD's just using this as a way to flirt with her. But I love that moment where he's like talking himself up. He's like, all right, go do. And he walks, you see her look up at him and he just hard
turns away.
pivots. And then the other guy's like, what's up, man?
Yeah.
What's up, dude?
The party was they did a really good job on the party. Like it felt like an actual party.
Oh yeah.
This is what I've never been to one in Manhattan, but that's what parties are generally like.
I'm sure that apartment is like $30,000 a month.
Like the chick that's just sleeping
Holy
on the couch
shit.
and everybody's laughing.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's usually me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marlena doesn't want to do it because she doesn't even know Rob. She's like, I've met him like 3 times. I did think and he's like, oh, we'll just do a quick one.
Yeah.
I love that she's like, do you have a card? My work loves this type of shit. And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm not really a videographer.
She's so confused. Like,
And he's like obviously super into her. He was asking about her before she showed up. And then like the way they introduce her character when she does show up is like Lily's trying to give her testimonial. He pans over and starts
Zooms
looking at
in on
her. And so we like know without her being introduced, that's who she is, And I don't know, it's just really cool.
And to HUD's credit, so Jason who's Rob's brother, is given the task by his girlfriend.
Yes.
I assume Lily. I don't know if they're engaged or not. But
I think it's girlfriend.
His partner, he's tasked by her to get these testimonials. He dumps the job on HUD, and immediately you're like, oh, HUD's a fuck up. Because he's like, oh man, that sounds really hard. That's a real responsibility. But to his credit, I think he does a pretty good job, at least in the testimonial thing, for the most part. The Marlena thing isn't great, but
it might be like funny for him to watch later anyway. With that way, I think he does a good job.
Yeah. And it's great found footage moments as soon as he gets the camera, where it suddenly starts like turning on, turning back off, switching back to the old tape, back to the current, and now it's like pointing at the ground and stuff. It's like him trying to figure out how the thing works.
Yeah,
it's really
he
cool.
gets better with the camera, and like later doesn't know how to use the night vision. I also really enjoyed the fact that we don't know that Beth and Rob aren't together, and that no one else knows that they had sex. The scene that we had already seen, LOL, it's organically revealed throughout the course of this party, because we know why he's upset that Beth is with Travis, but we don't yet know that no one else gets it, and they're just kind of being mean. I don't know. I think it's revealed very well, organically, very well done. But Rob shows up. Everybody seems unsure if Beth is coming. And then Beth wants some dude. And my note is fucking Travis.
Planet Travis.
Oh my God.
She's with Jonah from Superstore. What the fuck? He could do better than Jonah from Superstore.
But he's a nice guy. He's a solid 7.5 out of 10.
That's true. He's not a bad dude.
He's pretty nice.
He's like, oh man, you're Rob. I've heard so much about you.
Congratulations, buddy.
He daps him up and then whispers like, I'm gonna get it later.
Good luck, Travis. And then he finds out that they taped over his Beth tape. He's like, "What was there a tape in there? Is that my camera?" And
yeah, he's really sad. He's doing. I do like that. So he's got a promotion and he's going to be taking a job in Japan for whatever he does.
We don't know what he does. Yeah,
but I do love when he's sad boy. He's doing shots of sake. Yeah, like he's got like the sake cups and the carafe that you see sake usually in. He's just like, I'm going to Japan as a sad boy.
I've never had sake.
It's good. I love it.
It's fine.
Gotta get the warm sake.
If it's like authentic, then it kind of just tastes like watered down vodka.
You guys ever had soju?
No.
Oh, interesting. Right into streamingthingspod@gmail.com. I have had Sobe Life water.
Remember those from
with
like
the lizard
90s?
thing? Yeah, for sure. Dude, my shell necklace just chugging that shit.
They had the ones that were like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yep. It's like Avatar.
Fire Nation ruined everything.
That's right. We cut to Rob and Beth fighting. And at this point, Lily tells Jason and HUD in the kitchen that they slept together. And HUD's like, no way. He just goes around the party.
I'm his best friend. Why wouldn't you tell me? And they're like, why wouldn't I tell you? And it just cuts to him going up to everyone at the party. Hey, did you guys know that Rob and Beth slept together? I'm like, no way.
He tells literally everyone.
And the best part is when he goes up to Marlena to tell her this and she doesn't give a shit, but he introduces himself. Hey, it's me, HUD from before. Kills me.
And then we get some bro talk about Beth trying to talk Rob up. Hey man, it's all gonna be good, dude. It's gonna be good, bro. They fight. She's already left, and he's told Travis, "Good luck getting in her pants tonight." That's the last thing he said to her. And then there's a blackout. All the electricity goes out.
Well, we find out the reason why they're not together is Rob, because they were together, and Rob, I guess, chicken shit. He's just a total chicken shit. Didn't call her back because he knows he's getting this promotion and he knows he's moving away. So he's like, well, why do I even? What's the point of us even getting together? Because I'm just gonna have to move to Japan. And he's just being a little bitch about it. And luckily, I'm glad that
sayonara.
I love that Jason, his brother, is like, you're a douchebag, and going to Japan's not gonna fix that, buddy. Because he's in the wrong on this.
Yeah, you don't deserve her.
Yeah.
You're letting her go, and he gives her that. Talks him up into that, chasing his love. And then while they're on the fire escape, there's like an earthquake feeling type thing, a complete blackout. It's crazy. They run inside. They see on the news that a tanker has capsized by the Statue of Liberty, and they run up to the roof to see what's going on. And then there's a giant fucking explosion in the distance, and all this shit and debris starts flying at them and exploding things around them. It's crazy. They make it down pretty quick because it looks like they're on like the 40th floor.
Yeah.
And then Lady Liberty's head lands next to them on the street, which is wild.
Apparently when they released the first trailer that debuted in 2007, the Statue of Liberty's head was smaller. It was actually the correct scale because the Statue of Liberty's head isn't actually that big.
Is it not?
No, like people assume it's like enormous, but it's actually not very big. So when they played the trailer, a lot of criticism they got was that the Statue of Liberty's head was too small, even though they made it to scale. And so what we see in the final movie is the Statue of Liberty's head 50% larger than the real Statue of Liberty, which I think is kind of funny.
Because I've been there and it looks like I couldn't take her.
Too much woman for you.
It's way too much woman for me.
Lady Liberty is too much woman for Kit Laser.
But then, Jason shows up. We see some Godzilla type shit briefly that HUD's freaking out about. One of the buildings straight comes down and they have to flee into a bodega from the dust and debris. We hear monsters roaring and shit out there. Finally, Rob and Jason stumble outside. HUD chases them. And we find Marlena stumbling around. She's seen some shit.
The street is completely different. Like it's very much like a post 9/11, dust everywhere, fires everywhere, people kind of shell shocked walking around, specifically Marlena.
Yeah. Then he rewinds the tape so that everybody can see the glimpse of the monster that he saw. And so we get to see more spliced footage with the past, their date to Coney Island, which is really cool.
Is Beth convincing him to go for the job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aww. No. And then they decide they need to leave Manhattan. They say, okay, Brooklyn's right there. That we should definitely cross.
Hey, Brooklyn.
We'll soak
no sleep till
Brooklyn. It's a good song. And then Marlena's like, it was eating everyone, just to be clear.
That toddler, man, is hungry.
They get to the Brooklyn
toddlers,
Bridge.
they put everything in their mouth. All right.
Fun fact that we've shared before, the Brooklyn Bridge was built first in Kentucky, about a third of the scale, but the exact same bridge. It was tested out here. That way, if it fell, it would only kill hillbillies.
Yep.
And once it was found to be safe, then they did it with the Yankees.
Yep. The Roebling Bridge.
Interesting.
Pretty neat. So Rob gets a call from Beth while he's walking to the bridge and finds out she is alive, but not okay. Her apartment has collapsed on her. And so because he's stopping and trying to hear her, a lot of his other friends, including HUD and Lily and Marlena, stop. But Jason's kind of like pushed past by the crowd a lot farther on the bridge.
Yeah.
And then...
Because everyone's trying to leave and walk on this bridge.
And then the bridge gets swiped by the tail of the monster. Jason and many others die.
Jason has no idea. He like climbs up on a thing. He's like, why'd you guys stop?
Yeah.
And he like looks up just in time to see the tail just flatten him.
So if he hadn't gotten that call from Beth, the movie would be over right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
Pretty much, yeah.
Short film. And then, so Rob runs off after his phone dies. He's very frustrated because people are looting a store nearby and he's running in to get another phone, I guess. It couldn't be a charger.
I thought it was a battery.
Maybe.
For his phone.
Would it be charged?
It would have like a 20% charge, you know?
It would have some
There'd be
juice.
something on there.
It would have some juice. And then we realize this is when we see the monster louse. Like it's dropping little mean critters. Because on the news, lady's like, it's shaking off some kind of dandruff.
It's really cool though. It's like all the people that are looting, like the camera pans that HUD turns and you see all the looters just stand there holding stuff, looking up the screen. And then he turns up and looks to see what they're seeing.
Yeah.
And you see the little louse fall and start attacking people and they're like, oh shit.
Killing soldiers too. Like,
dude, that first dude that gets like tackled by one of them, that looks gnarly.
It's very scary. Rob reaches Beth.
There's at one point where HUD's like, Rob, I think we need to leave the electronics store. I know.
Definitely a TJ Miller.
There's some shit going on out there.
So her apartment fell on her. He says he's going to go get her. And then, my note is Lily is down. Lily's down to go. That's right. I was like, what happened to Lily?
Lily fall down.
Yeah. So Lily's down to go save her. It's like, okay. Cause they pass by like an alley where you can join the refugees, being escorted out by the military. And he's like, you guys go, I'm going to go probably die. And they're like, well, we got nothing else to do. And HUD gets stuck on the other side of the street. And they get caught in this fight between the military and the monster.
It's the best scene in the movie. They're walking and then you see, oh my God, and they look up and then a missile fucking shoots over their shoulder and then they're like all chaos breaks loose. There's tanks, they're shooting all kinds of missiles and there's gunfire everywhere. HUD's stuck on one side because it's a really cool way to keep show some action, but you ran out of budget pretty quickly and so we need to look at something else. So when you hide him across the street, he's looking at his friends and stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I do appreciate how this movie is really, really good at capturing the vibe of what this chaos would bring. I think some of the military stuff is like, I don't think military guys would be walking down the streets just shooting at the gun, but the way the civilians react, like the way people are like always screaming and like it feels very real. Like when they're taking cover behind the car and HUD's like, oh my God, and then like, what? They're like trying to talk to each other.
Sounds really good. It's all blown out because he's screaming into the microphone and stuff.
Yeah. I think it's very realistic.
And when they get into the subway afterward,
he falls.
Like, yeah. He falls and he says like, the sky caught fire. Like there's not going to be a lull. Is really good lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, they dip out into a subway to hide from this monster war.
And it's the first good shot we get of like the monster's face when he's like about to go down the steps.
Oh, because he turns back.
Camera looks up.
Yeah.
Not a nice monster baby, this one.
No.
It doesn't look nice. It's unfamiliar to us. Maybe maybe it's xenophobia that I'm judging this monster so harshly.
Maybe. Like, ooh, you gross kaiju baby.
Get out.
We don't take kindly to kaiju babies around these parts.
See, look at this one. He did it the right way.
He went through the system.
It just turns over a giant nice kaiju in a suit. Hi. So he has to, and then they're hiding in the subway, and then he gets a phone call, and this is a terrible scene emotionally. Like you can imagine being in this situation. He's like trying to catch his breath. Is like, what the fuck is going on? And he looks at his phone, and he's getting a call from his mother, and he's aware that he has to tell her that Jason's dead, which he really hasn't even processed yet himself. And so he answers the phone and he films him saying that. That's kind of rude, you know.
Yeah.
I want you to remember this for later. That time you had to tell your mom your brother was dead. And then he has a moment with Marlena as well. Like, hey, what's up?
I don't know what to say to him.
Yeah.
He's my best friend. I don't know what to say to him. And it's really sweet.
I'm Lizzie Kaplan.
Lily goes over there, and her and Rob have a moment because I think
cuddle.
That's the first time that Rob really kind of accepts that his brother's
And
dead.
that's her boyfriend and love of her life. So they grieve together momentarily.
Yeah.
And then
Marlena's just sitting there like, I wasn't even supposed to come in today.
I don't even know these
Dante.
people that well. Yeah. And then Rob says, well, let's just walk the tunnels, right? Probably not going to be any subways running at this time. It'll probably be safe. And then we get the crevasse joke, which as a Tenacious D fan, I always appreciate.
Crevasse.
And also you know who Superman is? Because he's trying really hard to connect to this girl he has a crush on.
Oh my God. You know who Superman is?
Have you ever heard of Garfield? We get the flaming homeless guy bit. And then they see all these rats running in the same direction, presumably from something. And then be quiet. And he turns on the night vision and we see the critters.
Give it to me. This is the best scene of the movie for me.
Really?
I love it. I think it's so creepy. Like the monster louse are very creepy. Like the design on those are so good. And I love their little Muppet noises they make. Like, but the way they kind of like skitter
and if they bite you, you'll fucking explode.
Blow the fuck up. Yeah.
Which is kind of a crazy effect.
So wild. But yeah, I think they use the night vision very, very well. It's super scary. I remember when this happened, like people screaming in my theater when it happened, like when they would like jump at the camera, be like, ah.
It is a really great reveal when they get the night vision on and they're above him and he's like got the glowy eyes and stuff.
And HUD's like, run, just fucking go.
Run, start running.
No, seriously go.
And Marlena only dies because she tried to save HUD.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. He gets taken. It's like dragging him away. And
they were going to make me their queen. I wonder if it's like a genuine laugh from Lizzie Kaplan.
I think it is because I think by the end of the movie, they're supposed to establish that they at least have a friendship.
Yeah.
Because he's the one she cries out for when the government takes her. Yeah.
I just wonder if he actually made the actress laugh with that wild ass comment.
Maybe.
Yeah. Thanks for coming back. They were dragging me away. I wonder why they didn't kill me. I think they're trying to make me his queen. And she's like...
I love Lizzie Kaplan, by the way.
Yeah, same.
She's so nice.
Same.
Apparently, this movie, the way they cast for this movie, they were like saying, hey, we want these type of people for these type of roles. No one was allowed to read the script. So they all auditioned with scripts from like Lost or Alias or some of the other J.J. Abrams properties. And based off the script that Lizzie Kaplan was given, she thought she was auditioning for a romantic movie, like a romantic comedy. And she basically just accepted the role without seeing the script because she just wanted to do a like J.J. Abrams thing. And she had no idea that it was going to be a monster movie. And she said like she'll never do that again for any movie because like nothing bad against the movie, but it was like a really physically demanding role. Like there's a lot of running and jumping around and stuff. And apparently she's like, I'm never accepting a script or accepting a role without seeing the script first because that was not what I signed up for.
I mean, she wasn't super well established at this point, right? So I would think that she'd just be like, I got a job, sweet, you know?
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, she definitely, that's why she did it.
I guess now she's Leslie Kaplan, so now she'd never do it.
Yeah, now she can say no to shit.
I'm not going to be dirty. I'm not going to hang out with TJ Miller ever.
Yeah, see, that's probably a big reason.
I've been watching Smallville a lot lately, and Lizzie Kaplan is like one of the a recurring character that's like gets infected by meteor rock, and she's kind of a bad person. But
spoiler,
her talking about Superman is fun.
What about Garfield? Does she show up in that movie at all?
Never seen it.
She's going to be opposite of Garfield in the Chris Pratt one that's coming out.
They sneak out of the subway and run in straight into the they get captured by the military immediately. And Rob's trying to convince the dude, like, I can go. I've got shit to do. I know you're busy. I've got love, bro. Have you ever been in love?
You've been in love?
I wish the general or the sergeant would have just been like,
I love love.
Shut the fuck up. What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? Because like, really, it's like, dude, I will shoot you.
I'm a sergeant in the U.S. military, not a sergeant in fucking poetry. All right. Get out.
Sergeant being a pussy.
I didn't know they stack shit that high. How tall are you? Robin, what?
The sergeant that finds him, though, ends up being really cool, though.
He is. He's like, I love love.
Yeah, I love love.
Go get her, son.
He's tearing up and shit.
Yeah.
You tell her you love her. You hold her close and you never let her go.
My
Do
wife
this for me, son. He's like, sir, I go, no, you listen to me. I was in love once and I let her get away.
An apartment fell on her too.
I wasn't man enough to go get her. Now the only love I have is the United States of America.
And real estate, honestly, not looking great right now, son. I get. Is the apartment falling on her a metaphor for the housing crisis? It's 08.
Came out in 08.
Meanwhile, Rob is like left. Well, where'd he go?
But then Marlene is like, guys, and there's like fucking blood pouring out of her eyeballs. And we hear a lady off camera go, we
gotta bite.
We gotta bite. And they cart Marlena off. And then we see a silhouette of her. I can't stress this enough. Fucking exploding.
Well, she like balloons really quick and then pops. It's amazing. It's so good.
And
so
you see, there's a little foreshadowing beforehand when they're kind of being walked through the area by the military.
The dude's guts that's blown out?
Yeah, like HUD follows a guy that's like blown up in the middle. So it's a little bit of a visual
I thought it was a bite taken out of him.
No, he did get a bite.
Yeah.
But then
he popped.
It was taken out of him far later after the fact.
I wonder if it's like,
I didn't put that together.
You ever know when you're like frying like sausages and you know if you don't like poke holes in them with a fork, they burst?
Oh, is that why that happens?
Yeah.
I've been doing sausages wrong.
So maybe if like somebody gets bitten by one of these things, if you just poke them with a fork, they'll be fine.
That's true. Has anyone got a fork? God damn it, this woman needs a fork stat.
I got a spoon. Get the fuck out of here.
I love to spoon. I used to spoon with my girlfriend all the time. Get out of here, Sergeant Love.
I love to spoon.
Sometimes she would let me be the little one. She was the perfect gal.
Now I'm just getting little spooned by Lady Liberty.
Lady Liberty's too much woman for me.
Heard she was giving head outside.
Give me your week. What is that? What is that phrase on the?
I don't know. Nobody reads that shit. It's not true.
Give us your pour, you're hungry, something.
It was just some shit the French drummed up.
Right.
This will be ironic.
Make it bronze because they are a bronze country. Yeah, give me your tired, your poor, your huddle masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore.
God bless.
Just killed him. Build a wall.
Build a wall. Fuck that.
So then the sergeant eventually does let him go. And he's like, look, man, go get her. I get it. However, we are going to blow the whole city up at 0600. So hurry up. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. It so cracks me up the idea of a sergeant like putting his hand on this young man's shoulder, going, "Go to her."
First, that's basically what happens. He knows
they're gonna do the.
He knows they're gonna die.
They're gonna do the hammer down protocol. You gotta go find her and go to this place by 0600 hours. That's the last chance.
That's sign language for stop.
Yeah, it is. Quiet place. Yeah, they have to get to this place by 0600 or they're stuck there.
I learned it from Miss Rachel, but go on.
That's right, Miss Rachel. I forgot about her.
More.
There's a ticking clock now. There's a ticking clock that they have to, if they want to survive this, they have to get to the evac point by 0600 hours, and HUD doesn't know what that is.
There's going to be one more bombing run, right? Doesn't he say that?
Yeah, one more bombing run, and if that doesn't work, they're going to wipe out all of Manhattan.
Mm-hmm. At 0600. What time is 0600? 6 o'clock. I knew that. So then they get to her apartment. Her whole building is knocked over.
I love that shot of you see her building.
Is that her place?
Please tell me that's not her place.
Yeah,
that's her place.
She's on the 39th floor and they're going to have to try to climb up as much as they can. And then Lily's like, I can't do that.
Ooh, it's Last of Us. Doesn't that rip that off?
There is a knocked over building.
Leading, and you need to like go up and cross. And stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, technically, Last of Us would have ripped this off.
That's what I meant.
That's what we meant. Yeah. And then,
but yeah, HUD has that idea to go up the erect building and then jump over on the rooftop. Yeah, the erect building. Hey guys, I want to go up the erect building,
not the wrecked one.
And the other two are like, "Great idea, HUD." Never mind. That was a terrible idea. Don't listen to me.
What do I think of that? I cannot believe that Rob tries to go up the fucking elevators. I mean, I know it's really far, but like,
it's worth a shot.
You're not supposed to use an elevator in a minor emergency, much less like when the building's about to fall at any moment.
But that building's erect.
But I would have loved the scene where it cuts to them, like maybe the camera is the reflection of all of them, and he's like dee 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 dee, or some kind of elevator music. That would have been kind of nice.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, he loses his powers. And nice suit. Right up in the crotch.
We cut to, they eventually get to Beth's apartment after climbing over the roof. It's really scary because it's like, I think they do a good job of making it seem like the set is askew, you know, especially like the way Lily's acting when she tries to get to the opposing
Lily's
wall.
Going all in on that. Like,
it's like straight Inception.
Which way is it leaning, Lily?
And then they get into the apartment and she's fucking impaled by rebar.
Jesus.
That's not going to end
Wall
well.
didn't fall onto her. She fell onto the wall.
We don't know what happened. She was just bouncing around in there.
Yeah.
And she's in her jammies too. Like it's sad. Like she was just like do brushing my hair. Thinking about Rob.
How much of a dick he was to me.
Gave Travis a handy. Nothing serious.
No, Travis went straight home and watched everything on his mom's couch.
It wasn't a long handy.
It was just like, he's like, I'm sensitive.
Swear to God, that never happens.
I was thinking about Lady Liberty.
It's a whole lot of women.
But yeah. So she's impaled by rebar. And then they like pull her off of it. And it's cool because they have to set the camera down to help. For once, HUD is like, okay, I'll actually help.
One small thing that's really, really great is he sets the camera down, and because the room's tilted, the camera like slides forward until it hits another piece of debris that keeps it in place. I just thought that was a nice little touch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So they yank her off the rebar and then they get her out of the building. And then they, hobble around until finally the creature is being bombed while they're up on the roof, though. And we get to see this like roof down shot of the kaiju, which is really awesome.
I love Beth's reaction because she's unaware of any of this. She's like, what is that?
Yeah, that's true. She's like, oh my God.
And HUD's like, that's a terrible thing.
Yeah, that's my favorite like HUD line. It's a terrible thing. And then something else is like, also a terrible thing.
Yeah, also terrible. Because it's one of the little critters is in there. And then Rob, luckily, is right next to an axe on the wall and is able to kill it. And this is when we get the 0600. What time is that line? And then they get out to the choppers. So Lily gets in the first chopper. We'll be right behind you. Nothing bad could happen. And then she takes off and presumably lives. And then Rob, HUD, and Beth get in the second chopper. It gets bombed. And I think TJ Miller's acting is pretty good in this, oh, Jesus Christ, God, blah, blah, that's basically what I would do. And
because the helicopter guy is like, let's fly real close to this bombing run.
Have any of you been in a helicopter before? I imagine you have, Steve, for some reason.
I filmed stuff
when I was a kid. I think I got to like.
I feel like
one.
I would not be okay. I don't do well. I don't even like ski lifts.
Oh, you hate a helicopter.
They're only like 50 feet up, but it's like, I feel like this bar is not enough. Like, what if I have really slick pants on and just, like, I literally had a panic.
I got my swish pants on.
Yeah. Like, we were in Gatlinburg going up the sky lift, which is nothing, you know, but Sarah was just like dying laughing because the entire way I'm like,
shaking.
Fucking hate this, you know? And that's why I hate roller coasters, because I'm like, some 16-year-old stoner is responsible for making sure that I don't die while I'm upside down in this tiny bar is what's keeping that. You know what I mean? Like, I hate it.
Yeah.
So yeah, helicopter would just sound awful.
Yeah, you would hate it.
Because I went in a tiny plane when I went skydiving, and I was ready to jump out by the time, because that's so uncomfortable being able to feel every little jolt.
That plane they take you up in skydiving is like the ricketiest thing in the world too. Like, in no way is this safe. Jumping out of it's way safer.
Yeah, for sure. Get me out of this thing. Come on, Frank. Is it my parachute, or are you just happy to see me?
Yes.
Yeah, their chopper crashes, and we get this like voice sound, like this lady warning everybody on intercom, like, we're gonna bomb soon. If you can hear the sirens, not good. She's like chewing gum.
Mr. Skinner.
Mr. Skinner.
Excuse me, New York City. If you really sorry about this, but we're about to drop bombs.
We're about to initiate an hammer down protocol in 15 minutes. I say again, 15 minutes.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not looking good. And then there's like the monster is right above them as they crawl out from the chopper. They drag Rob out. He's got some kind of major leg wound to the point where HUD has to give him a tourniquet with his belt. And then, the monster is just looking at HUD. And this is what I hate, because it's like, it like eats HUD and then drops him.
Bites him in half.
That monster is so big that there's no like eating. It's just like, that would be like me seeing a Cheerio and then eating half of it. Like, that's ridiculous.
But you're not a toddler.
You know what I
Monster
mean?
is a toddler. He just wants to put things in his mouth and like, HUD.
Don't you get like the satisfaction of like taking little bites of things sometimes?
No.
I do.
I throw 19 Cheerios in minimum.
Like, you never taken a Skittle and like bitten it in half?
No, that makes me cringe. That'll
What
like
a weirdo.
break my tooth.
Oh.
I've done that. Yeah.
I
Or
would-
Starburst.
I have taken combos and like bitten all the pretzel off the outside and saved the core.
Totally.
you
Maybe
have, like-
that's all the Cloverfield monster did. You
Yeah,
know?
it was biting off the TJ Miller to get to the core.
So he's bitten in half.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch it, you can see like his legs at one point stay in the monster's mouth. And then when you see like as he's falling, you can see his shadow on the ground. It's just the top half of a person.
You're a shadow looker.
Well, this isn't
Because we
something
did this in Attack of the Clones too. You know?
we did, yeah. This isn't something that I picked up on my first watch. As I've watched this movie a ton of times, and I go in forums. Okay, I'm cool like that.
Oh, Cloverpedia.
Cloverpedia. Yeah, I'm on the peds. But apparently, I said what I said.
Not representative of the views of streaming.
No, but apparently this whole scene was actually the subject of a lot of debate amongst the filmmakers. Apparently, the VFX team like just thought the whole scene was stupid and like didn't want to do this like at all.
Which scene?
The scene where they stand up and the monster's there and it like looks at HUD and eats him. I forget exactly what they wanted to do. Like, I think maybe they just wanted like HUD to get killed very quickly and he didn't see the monster. But I think it was Drew Goddard and J.J. Abrams both were like, no, this is a monster movie. This is our one chance to actually let the audience see the monster. I think they're owed that. And J.J. Abrams specifically like he thought it was such a neat idea to have the point of view character like get eaten so that the audience can know what it's like to be eaten by a monster vicariously through this character. And so there was a lot of back and forth. And I guess J.J. Abrams was like, hey, I'm the producer. Let's do what I want to do. Okay. and that's how it got in there.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, like I said, you helped it a little bit.
I like it. You said you're not a huge fan of it,
Just
right?
because, again, I'm overthinking it. And I'm thinking like the size differential. This monster is a skyscraper. His mouth presumably is a 4-car garage and
Totally.
takes a piece off of a 5'9" man. It just seems silly.
I looked at it 100% as the chance to see the monster.
Well, I
shot,
understand
but, like,
functionally why it's
right,
there.
right,
but like,
but, yeah.
I'm thinking about how big this monster is. I'm
Well,
like,
TJ Miller is 6'2". Just saying.
did you just look up his height? He's giving shorter energy, I have to say.
He's giving Short King.
Not King, just short. So then, he did. And Rob and Beth
Somehow
Rob picks
get
up
away.
the camera, gets away a little farther. I mean, again, they're tiny. They're specks to him. So he's like, meh.
He probably ate HUD and was like, ugh, gross. I'm not going back for seconds. And
Definitely
walked
not.
away.
She's hot, and then kept walking. And then, they're under the bridge and they die. They're sitting there waiting. And Rob's like, it's funny to me because Rob's kind of like, we had a good run. I miss you guys. If you see this, I love you. At least I got to spend my last day with my love. And he's like, Beth, and cuts to her and she's like, like she's just not.
I regret everything.
Yeah. Why did you come get me?
I should have went to Travis's mom's house.
And then we get the spliced footage of I had a good day.
Yeah, and we see, like we said, the touchdown in the water. I had a good day, and then it ends, and then
Well, they also confess their love to each other. Did we say that? 'Cause,
that's important.
You know, it was will they, won't they, and it was like they would.
If they didn't die in a moment.
Yeah, somebody asked, I think Matt Reeves, like, do they live? Because I guess someone could argue it's a little ambiguous if they're dead or not.
Definitely is.
And
They have the camera, like
Yeah.
I said, and
Matt Reeves said, like, it's not important if they live or not. What's important is that they love each other and they're with each other.
Yeah.
And by the end of the movie and then I think that's like I don't know if that's a satisfying answer, but I like the spirit of like everything else in this monster movie is cool, but it's window dressing to these characters coming together, which is a little beautiful.
yeah,
I love.
it's a good movie. You guys talked me into it. Not that I didn't like it. I gave it 4 stars, but like I like it a little more now.
4.5.
I might have given it 3.5. Maybe it's back to a 4.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Lovely choice. Did we get any emails about why they chose this movie or anything?
So this movie was chosen by our beloved patron Peaches.
Peaches.
But I did reach out to see why they chose this. They didn't get back to me, but honestly, that's my fault because I didn't reach out to the patrons until yesterday morning. So
It's been a wild few weeks.
yeah, it's been a wild few weeks. So Peaches, right in. I'd still love to know why you picked this movie, but they have not responded to my request yet.
But thank you so much for supporting the show, Peaches, and for choosing this wonderful film. Andy, thank you for coming back home
Thanks for having me, guys.
one more again.
Feels good. One
Andy.
more again.
I love you.
I love you.
Crash.
That's all the time we have for right now. We've got to go return some videotapes and SD cards. My name is Kit,
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
and this was Streaming Things. Happy streaming.
It's alive.